Hey boo boo, I answer as an involuntary reflex. Jay Bird, she calls to my husband AJJ. Like, it's just not giving. I was like, what is happening? Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ebony and today I will be doing a book unhaul. And you know what? It's spring. It's time to do some spring cleaning. I like to maintain balance in my bookshelf. So usually if stuff is coming in, I like to release stuff. That being said, I'll start off with the first book that I actually lent out to one of my friends, and that was You Are the Universe. I got this a few years ago, and if you don't know, hello, hi. I am so into the universe, and I'm really fascinated by the fact that the same elements that compose the entire universe are also found in us. Apparently our bones are literally made of stardust, which is crazy, but unfortunately I never read it and I've had it for a while, so I just figured that I would give it to my friend, and she was pretty excited to get that. The next book that I'm going to unhaul is Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, and I read this a while ago. I want to say honestly right after I graduated college, and I was just getting into reading, so I was pretty much experimenting with the types of books that I like to read. And in the Year of Yes, Shonda Rhimes makes a vow to herself that she will say yes to everything that frightens her. She found that she was like missing out on amazing opportunities basically due to fear, so she decided no matter how afraid of an event she was, she would say yes. So this chronicles her experience, and the reason why I want to give it away is because I feel like you can't really reread a book like this. Honestly, I got what I did out of it, and also I just wasn't super captivated by it. Still think it was enjoyable and there are a lot of lessons to be learned. I'm also getting rid of adultery. I ended up purchasing this book because I had recently read The Alchemist, which is a book I did enjoy, and I just never really got to this, honestly. It says this is a provocative new novel, and it explores the question of what it means to live life fully and happily, finding the balance between life's routines and the desire for something new. Sounds like an interesting premise to me, honestly, but I've had it for probably a few years now and I've never read it, so it'll be in the hands of someone better who will appreciate it. Up next, I am getting rid of The Subtle Art by Mark Manson. I also read this book right out of college. I was in my self-improvement bag, obviously. That's all I was reading. And it's funny because it's the genre that I don't touch at all now, so that's pretty interesting. If you remember a few years back, this book was literally everywhere. Everyone and their mom was reading this book, and I read it. I thought it was very refreshing at the time because a lot of self-improvement books were a little too into that like toxic positivity. But have I ever reread it? No. So it's time to go. Up next, I'm getting rid of Looking for Alaska and Paper Towns by John Green. Looking for Alaska, I read this once again a few years back, have never picked it up again. If you don't know what it's about, it's basically about this young boy who I believe goes to summer camp, a sleepaway summer camp, and it's his first time being alone without his parents, and he meets Alaska, who is like the quintessential manic pixie dream girl, but honestly she was a vibe. Her room, she had stacks of books everywhere, and I was like, I want to be like her. And Paper Towns, I never read it. I got it a while back too. As you can see, it still has the sticker where it says soon to be a major motion picture. So that was a long time ago. I think one of my friends was reading it at the time, and she was like, oh my god, I loved it. I just read The Fault in Our Stars. You know, everyone had their John Green moment. If you didn't, I don't know if I could trust you. A physical book that I started reading and decided to DNF, and it was one of my first DNFs of the year, was Priest Daddy by Patricia Lockwood. This is Patricia Lockwood. It's kind of a memoir of a time in her life where she had to move back and live with her parents, and her dad is a married priest in the Catholic Church, but he gets in on kind of loophole in the system. The thing that made me stop reading this, and I should know this by now about myself, is that I just do not do well with overt comedy in books. Like, I just don't get it. And it feels like it's trying too hard to make me laugh, especially in this. And I want to say I think I stopped reading at page 100 because the dialogue was just getting very cringy to me. Hey boo boo, I answer as an involuntary reflex. Jay Bird, she calls to my husband AJJ. Like, it's just not giving. I was like, what is happening? It was like using AAVE, but Patricia Lockwood is like, not, you know what I'm saying? I know she's very into internet culture. I just wasn't vibing with this. I was 100 pages in. I was finding it hard to grasp on to kind of what the point is with this story. So I just ended up DNFing it. If you are a fan of this, I'm so sorry. So yeah, that didn't work for me. Okay, so I'm on the fence and I'm gonna need you guys to help me out with this one. I have the Twilight edition of Wuthering Heights. As you can see, it says Bella and Edward's favorite book, and it's kind of iconic because I have a Starburst wrapper in here. Now, my question to you is, should I keep this? Or should I get those cloth bound classics that are absolutely stunning, beautiful to look at, and just hardcover? Or is it a relic of my past Twilight obsessed self? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna put it to the side for now though. All right, this one might be a hot take. It really might be a hot take, but My Body by Emily Ratajkowski. I read this at the end of 2021. If you are unfamiliar, this is a collection of essays slash memoir about Emily Ratajkowski's experience in the modeling industry, about the commodification of bodies, and her basically experience of being violated and taken advantage of, and her likeness and body and image being sold without her consent in numerous instances, or her being overly sexualized even as a minor. So this collection of essays was very nice because it was insight into that lifestyle, but then also I had a few issues with it because I had to remember that this in a sense is still feminist text, but it's very limited, as in it's the fact of a white woman speaking of her experiences, and I think there's a big like intersectionality aspect missing from this, but that had more to do with how this book was marketed. My type of feminism that I like to see is intersectional feminism, and this was missing. So I had to take into account that this is literally about her perspectives. So going into that, it's already going to be limited, as in the way that everyone's point of view is very limited. That being said, I just don't know if I would necessarily return to read anything in this book. It's been a few months since I've read it. Nothing is really drawing me back, and I think that someone else would be super stoked to see this in like a little book library or at the thrift. There were a few essays that I liked, but the best one in my opinion was Buying Myself Back, which was, I believe, also published in New York Times or the New Yorker, I want to say. And I also really enjoyed one that was titled The Woozies. Is there anything else that I want to get rid of? Oh, got another one. So I'm going to donate the X Hex by Erin Sterling. I read this book in October, I want to say, around spooky season of last year. I wasn't like the craziest about it. Thought it was cute. It gave off those warm, cozy Halloween vibes in the way that watching Halloween Town would. I just had some issues with the storyline being a little unclear. And is it something that I would ever revisit? I don't think so, truthfully. So I believe it's safe to give up this one. I'm not getting rid of this, but I just have to show you. Junie B. Jones. I would never get rid of this. Like, I was serious about my Junie B. Jones. I just thought I would share this. And this is Junie B. Jones in that Meanie Jim's birthday. We don't like a Meanie Jim. It's really hard for me to get rid of anything else because I feel like everything else on my shelves I love. If you would like to see an in-depth video on what's on my bookshelves, please check out my bookshelf tour. I'm thinking of doing an updated one, but I probably won't do that until later on this year. I think I need another shelf happening somewhere, so we're gonna get that going. I really like the look of those floating shelves, you know, but yeah, I'm still deciding. But other than that, that concludes my book unhaul. I love my bookshelves. I'm so proud of them. I just think that it really shows off my personality a lot, and I'm excited to fill the vacancies with some books that I can't wait to see on my shelves. Thank you so much for watching and making it to the end. If you would like, you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Goodreads, on Storygraph. I'll link everything down below, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye!
And I was like, yo.